Alright, we are recording here. So today I have a short video showing a stick steer for a small, in this case a 6 horsepower Mercury on this Sea Eagle paddle ski. And the idea here was not so much to control throttle, but just when you're en route, be able to face forward and then have a steering control without having to reach behind, which gets uncomfortable after a while, yet still retaining the ability to use the tiller for, say, at the boat ramp and so forth. So what I did here is I took a piece of 20 by 20, and that's 20 millimeter by 20 millimeter, 2020 they call it, aluminum extrusion, and then mounted it, in this case with a couple of knurled nuts here. I originally had a 5/16, and the carriage bolt locked it, and then the star nut, with a washer and a lock nut would lock it from the bottom. As it turned out, if I put a 5/16 hole through the aluminum here, it was taking too much material away. So right now I have 1/4 inch, but same idea here. I'm going to go with 1/4 inch carriage bolt, and then there's some levers. You turn them, you pull down, it's spring loaded, and you can kind of crank it. That way you don't have to carry wrenches. Right now this is just mounted with some nuts here, but that will be changed. And then what I did was to take a helmsman. Typically these come with ends to attach to your tiller, and I just took, there's a little spring pin that goes through the end here. See if I can rotate this around, and simply just knock the spring pin out. Took all of about 30 seconds. So you just need to support this while you take a punch and knock it out. And then this end is almost a perfect fit for an articulating joint or 20 by 20 extruded aluminum. So I just simply popped it in, and this goes up and down and side to side. So just extending the features of the helmsman tiller arm. And I'll trim this. There's some decorative ends on it. Right now I'm just kind of playing around with the geometry. But it just creates a simple right angle. And then you get quite a bit of movement there. And again, the idea is not to use this at the boat ramp and do maneuvers, because you don't have throttle control. But when you're cruising along at close to full throttle and you just want to do subtle movements, even not so subtle movements, you have that control. And here at the seat, it's just a matter of pulling and pushing, and this goes in and out. So it's pretty comfortable. And parts wise, I think this is like $5. The nuts are a few bucks, and you get a package of 4 of these for, I don't know, $8 or $9. So a pretty simple setup here. I had the helmsman articulating arm, but that's the most expensive part here. And these are also adjustable. This extends out, and it no longer locks into place because I took the arm off. But this is actually less simple, and this will actually fold up. So once that's removed, you just have 2 small pieces. Sorry about the airplane here. So you can kind of see that folds up very compactly. I've got it just one notch out, and this will go in a little bit further. But that's the idea. Just simple push-pull. And 20 by 20 aluminum here is more than adequate. It's got some flex to it, but it really, I mean, it's moving, so it's not like it needs to be all that rigid to begin with. And then this is just a couple pieces of some PVC. And I made this goes into a little Scotty mount. Pull this out of here. Oh, it's actually just a male adapter. And I think I filed this to fit. Anyway, that drops in. And the only reason here, only purpose here is to just prevent this from dropping down and possibly catching the water and having a real mess, so that just kind of holds it. If you're using the tiller, get my strap out of the way there. So if you're at a boat ramp going in and out, that'll still allow that to move, and without dropping off the side of the boat and possibly, catching the water. That would be a disaster. So that just kind of holds it in place for when you're using the tiller. So that's all that is. I'm sure you can get a little creative, but this way, this whole thing just pops out and you can still roll the boat up just fine. And just real simple. So I'm sure there's better ways to do it. If anybody has some ideas they want to comment, feel free. As it is here, this is a very poor man's way to kind of control the motor from the seat without having to reach around. So, okay, hopefully you find that helpful.